the unreleased Battlebots Gamecube game. This game was so close to being finished, yet was cancelled right at the last minute. But thankfully, fans have found the ROMs and done all the research, which I will leave in the description down below, so you can play this game for yourself. I'm going to play a bit of gameplay now, so let's roll the credits. It's robot fighting time. Wow, what an intro that is. That is a way to get people pumped up to play a game, isn't it? Right, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be taking a look through the menus of the robots just to see which ones are playable, which ones are not playable. Some that are a bit overpowered, some that are underpowered. This one here, Mouser Mecha Catbot. What a weird robot that was. I love how it kept on getting destroyed and they put the cyborg eye on the side of it, which you can see there. What was it, a sideways hinge flipper? With an axe on the back. Yeah, bit of a weird one. I do remember it quite fondly, hitting the saw blades and going flying off like a frisbee. And oh, this next robot here is the robot that I first ever saw fight, Ziggo. What a robot that was. Such a good winning streak up until it became so unstable it flipped itself upside down. We've got some of the pre-made bots for you, because you can also make your own bots in this. Backlash. Classic. Backlash is a very, very difficult robot to use in this game. It likes to turn itself upside down. And what else we got here? Complete Control and Death Blow. Death Blow, Grant Imahara's robot. Another one that I've got fond memories of when it was fighting and the axe fell off, didn't it? So I think he went to the hardware store and got another axe and just like strapped it to the end. The hammer was never very destructive, but it definitely racked up the hit points, didn't it? That thing could really hit. Talking about robots that can hit, though. Hazard. That has such a good winning streak, right up until it lost to... what was the flipper called? You'll have to let me know in the comments. Unless it's going to turn up here in a minute. It probably will. But yeah, it flipped it up and then spun itself around it. One hell of a hit that was. Sunshine Lollybot. Right, this robot here is a classic example of a robot that is overpowered in this game. You have to remember this game was not released, so it probably wasn't the final edition that we're going to do, but that robot can destroy anyone. Saw blades. Here we are, the made-up robots again. Some of them are actually quite good. Right, we are moving up now to the heavyweights, and this is the first issue we've got with the game. Biohazard is an unplayable robot. If you select Biohazard, it will take you to the main game. The second you start, the game will crash and you've got to reset everything again. So just a warning, do not attempt to play the game with Biohazard. It's a shame, it really is, because Biohazard is an absolute classic robot of the sport, isn't it? Talking to another classic now, we have Mauler. Now, Mauler is very hard to play in this game. You cannot tell which direction this robot is going. Very powerful, but very difficult to drive. Ends up upside down all the time, and he's just a pain. We have our classic Nightmare. Can't remember actually playing with this robot. I did play with Backlash, and he was very unstable, so I may have to come back and try Nightmare. Very difficult to control any two-wheel bot in this game, to be honest. This one here. Oh, I did forget to mention as well, the different weight classes definitely handle very differently. The heavier weight classes are a lot slower, as you would imagine, but the lower weight classes are super fast. Trying to drive Mouser Mecha Catbot is difficult. It is so fast that you line up your shot and you're all the way across the arena and you've missed them or whatever. So yeah, it's difficult. Right, super heavyweights, and we have an issue with the super heavyweights here, whereas definitely I think this is an unfinished game issue. Their robots are just way too big. Even for the arena, they look like they're tanks inside there. They're good to drive. Very, very overpowered. All of them are. But yes, the size difference. You'll see when we get to the actual fighting bit as well that some robots just look ridiculously huge. It's laughable at times, to be honest. So we're getting to the end here of all these robots. Have you seen your favourite robot in the roster? What robots would you love to have seen added to this? To be honest, I would have just loved to have seen this game come out, because the games that we did get at the time were nothing compared to how this game plays and feels. It really is amazing. And we've got Turo there, and who we got here? Gladiator. See, got all the classic bots, all the classic robots, and even got Super Ginsu. Can't have a Battlebots game without Ginsu in it, can we? And again, here's some of the made-up robots. This one here, with the saw blades, is so overpowered. It is ridiculous. Yeah, there definitely would have been some testing done before this game was released. Right, so here we are at our first fight, and it's Backlash versus Mecha Mecha Catbot. And you see what I mean about the speed there. Look how fast it went across the arena. I love the physics in this game. They are great. They're not perfect. As I said, this is an unreleased game, so things would have been tweaked. What I've just picked up there, though, is a power-up. And you can choose to put these power-ups on or remove them. And some of them will give you more powerful weapons. Some will disable your opponent, so they're sort of like stuck going in whatever direction they were when you started. Look at trying to use that axe there. That axe is even useless in this game. Backlash has an issue with constantly falling over, but look at this destruction here. That is how you destroy a robot. I have cut down some of these fights because we did do a few in the night, but I just wanted to give you a taste of what the game actually feels like. Nice little touch there where you can see the drivers. Definitely a fun one, and you also get replays. Replays are very important, especially if you're having a fighting game like this, so you can see how you won. Right now we have an example of a robot that's overpowered that really shouldn't be. Now, could you imagine a fight back in the day of Sunshine, Lollibot and Hazard? I don't think it would have ended up this way. But anything with a saw blaze at the moment in this game is just ridiculously overpowered. I mean, look at that. Hazard can't even get back. This really was a complete domination of a fight, this one. At the time, I was driving Sunshine Lollibot. So, yeah, nice victory for me. Oh, spoilers. Yeah, picked up a power up there, and you can see it made my weapon even stronger, which you didn't even really need. And I think at the end of this, I pick up the power up that stops it from... So you get the damage as well, though. I mean, look, you still get the smoke, and I'm getting some damage from Hazard, but it can't do much damage, can it, when it's upside down like that? You can change the camera angles if you're playing single player. You can play so you are just directly behind the robot, so you can see where you're driving, which I think is a nice touch as well. But most people will end up playing in this style because it's kind of like watching the show, isn't it? So I think, yeah, here we go. That there is the power up which stops them. See here, this is like a lightning bolt, and they get stuck to the floor. So you can come in for quite a few nasty hits, and I think we get a total destruction here. I'm sure we do, because the chassis will eventually break, and yeah, look at, you can see all the components inside. It's just such a fun game to play. It really is. Oh, I did play with Nightmare and Mauler. I think this is a classic fight back in the day, and it pretty much ended like that, didn't it? See, with these robots getting a bit bigger as well, the camera angles tries to move out the way. And here's me trying to get back up and realising if you reverse the other way, you will get back on your feet or your wheels. Mauler here, showing off why it's difficult to drive one of these robots, because you can't actually see which direction it's supposed to be going. And it's... Oh, there's another hazard as well, where you get spontaneous saw blades popping up through the floor. See, that's the only way you can figure out how to drive Mauler, is power your weapon down, drive where you want to go. I'm sure over time you could figure it out a lot better. But look at the hits. I have turned the volume down. There is commentary over it as well. But during the recording of these fights, we did get a little bit excited. So maybe best not show. What a hit that was. Just look at it. And now he's stuck upside down. Oh, I remember this fight now. It looks like it's a total win here for Nightmare. Look at that. Look at the distance you can get. But I think, unfortunately, I broke my frame. How did Mauler, with no weapon, break my frame? But hey, who knows? That was the winner. Look at it. There's not much left of it. But yeah, definitely a fun fight, that one. And again, some more. And now here's the problem we've got with the super heavyweights. Look how big they look in the arena. Definitely, you can bet they needed to be scaled down a little bit more, or the arena made a bit bigger. Yeah, got my power up there. I think that was extra weapons. It's hard to tell. Like I said, there's extra weapons, there's extra motors. There's the hazards on the floor, and then there's the sticking them to the floor, which is sort of like a quick way to kill them, really, because they can't move. A bit unfair. It's a nice touch that you can put it on and remove it, but yeah, it's an interesting mechanic to have. The different modes you can play in this game as well. So you can play 4-player mode, you can play the computer, 2-player. There's tournaments. Tournaments at the moment do not work in this game. I say at the moment, probably never will, because they crash on you again as well, like if you picked Biohazard. But you definitely get a good sense of this game was going places. It really was. This game should have been released. I mean, it is such a shame that this game was so close to completion, but just never got finished. Just notice there, Lockjaw, this is one of the first robots where you can actually control different weapons with different buttons on your pad. So one button fires your left axe, the other one fires your right axe, and then your main A button uses the jaws. So there's not many robots in there that use multiple weapons, but it's nice that it's there. Yeah, you can't get a good run-up on this, can you? Oh, a couple of flips in there. Flippers seem to be underpowered. Definitely flippers seem to be underpowered. It's kind of like the real show. Yeah, it's a shame, really. Coming from the UK, look at that. There's the destruction. I picked up the pair up, and there is nothing left of them. Yeah, that's a way to destroy a robot, isn't it? And then, yeah, I love how it shows you the insides. This fight here, I wanted to try a flipper. This robot here is Little Sister, which in the UK is actually called Bigger Brother, which was a very successful robot in the UK. Luckily, I've actually seen this one fight, not the Little Sister, the Bigger Brother, and it really did dominate. But I just wanted to see how an axe bot would work against a flipper, to see if it was any good. I mean, it could easily get underneath with the flips, but it's taken off a lot of the panels as well. I do think that the hammer on Deathblow is not moving as fast as it should. A little bit difficult to self-right there. I think you've got to reverse the robot at the same time as doing the axe to sort of pull it back. So not all of them will self-right as easy as you think they would. A little bit of difficult there with the camera angles. It seems to get a bit too close at times. But yeah, you can definitely see all the damage. I love that the panels come off and you try and work your way around to the back to get some more of the damage and everything else. And we've got another one of those saw blades. They get very, very difficult. They're very unpredictable of where they pop up. And I just could not, every time I was getting close to hitting him, flip, flip, flip. And there we go, the saw blades killed me. As I said, you've got to be careful of those saw blades when they pop up, because they can destroy your frame very, very quickly. And I think that's a classic example, though, there of how many flips was Little Sister getting, and it still lost. And granted, it lost because it was on the saws, but a hammer was definitely taking a hell of a lot more damage off than that. Now we're on to our final battle, and I just wanted to test how Ziggo plays. Now, this happens every time you start. It goes black just for a split second as you're about to start, and I don't know whether that's just something wrong with the coding, or is it, you know, not the full game. It's a bit annoying now because you're about to do a charge forward and you can't see the other robot. Well, maybe that is the reason. I don't know. Ziggo here is a little bit easier to drive than Mauler because you can actually see the flag on the top of what direction you're going, but it's still a difficult robot to try and handle. And please, can somebody tell me the name of the other robot, because I forget every single time. I remember seeing it back in the day. Oh, there we go. Frame damage. That was a nice quick fight, that one. Just because it hit the saw blades. And it's a lightweight, so it was always going to. Just wanted to put this here because this is the game we got in the UK. And how did this game get released and the Battlebots game for the Gamecube not? It is such a crime. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you can check this game out, and I will see you again next time.